Thank you. I want to thank the MCs for the introduction. I want to thank all of you who are here today and those others who will come later. Dear brothers and sisters, this is not the first time I'm addressing some of you at least. Circumstances have changed since the last time I met you, as the MCs announced. But today we're going to talk about the Vedas. And perhaps from this Vedic truth, let me share with you what is the experience I'm going through in relation to what the Vedas or my religion has taught me. The MC announced, I have 4 children. My youngest would be 23 on March 6th. He passed away on 27th of February. Many thought, Brother Nosh and others who were helping to coordinate the program, thought that I would cancel. Many in Malaysia thought I would cancel it. But then the question is then, what is spirituality all about? Many asked, how can God do this to me? My wife passed away. Then in November last year, my mother passed away. In January, hardly we finished 30 days a morning, an uncle of mine who's very, very dear to me, very close to me, passed away. And then my son in February. Virtually every month, a major disaster hit me. Many in Malaysia were afraid this would cripple me and I would fall. But dear friends, let me tell you what Vedanta teaches us, what the Vedas teaches. The Vedas teaches that imagine now I'm walking in a very dark road and beside me are the ones I love. My wife, my mother, my son, daughters, uncles, aunts, friends. They're all beside me in this dark road. I need a light, to walk along this road. I've got a lot of boulders and a lot of holes and a lot of dangerous terrain. Suddenly a light appears. This light is divinity. The divine only shows the path, That's all. This light now is shining and I'm thanking light, and I can imagine every day now I'm walking and the whole family is walking and whole friends are walking with me, and every day we are moving over boulders, we're stepping over rocks and thank you light, thank you for helping us to see so that we can walk along this path. Suddenly, so every day I'm thanking this light for allowing me to see. Suddenly people beside me collapse, one after another. Do I now condemn that light? All I can do is, that particular person's drama is over in this drama of life. All I can do is to continue to thank that light for giving me the strength and the vision to move on. This is what Vedanta teaches us. If I cancel this trip, the entire teachings my Guru, Bhagavan Satsai Baba, had given me, the entire teachings I've garnered from the Vedas would have gone to waste. That's the reason why I said I have to continue. So much for that particular introduction. Let me ask you one question now before I don't intend to keep this whole thing so drab and so sorrowful, okay? It's going to light up, okay? I just want to ask you one question. How many of you here are coming for the first time for such a session? Raise your hands, please. Oh, I see. So a lot of newcomers here. All right. Let's see. We'll ask the same question when the hall gets a bit more full, okay? We're going to start this session. I'm going to make it interesting as possible. We're going to start this session with some invocations. There are basic mantras, and I actually was hoping that there will be more youth here. Actually, my entire focus actually is on youth. The generation. When I say youth, Those days when I said youth, I meant anyone below 30. As I grew older and older, the youth becomes higher and higher, you know. So now anyone below 50 is youth for me, okay? Or take it 45, no, whatever, okay, anyway, but youthful at heart is the main thing. If anyone is youthful at heart, the question is now, this is the generation of the future. You see, in Malaysia, in Australia, in USA, in Canada, around the world, Hindu temples are being springing up. Look at this temple here, beautiful temple here. Next door, there's another temple there. And the other day I visited, on 2 days ago, I visited another temple, another Sanatharam temple, then I visited another temple the day before that. So many temples are springing up, okay? The question is this, today the youngsters are being forced to come to the temple by the parents. Unless we build the temple in the hearts of the youngsters, 30 years from now, will they come by themselves? Or will there be old men and flies, you know, in the temples? And then one day, and these temple builders who build these temples taking so much public money, unless of course the guy was a multimillionaire, he built his own temple himself. People have donated money willingly, happily. Can you imagine when the person dies and they go upstairs, you know, and they face their maker, and the God asks them, hey, why did you build the temple? God, for you. What, you built it for me? You're joking. The whole universe is my temple. What did you build for me? You didn't build temple for me. Don't insult me, God will tell him. Oh God, I built for devotees. Ah, good. Look at the temple now. Nobody there. Only flies praying for me. So the biggest challenge for us now is how can we build temples in the hearts of the youth? And the youth cannot have a religion that is mere superstition and just things, ceremonies they don't understand. This is the whole purpose of Trackage. And of course, we have covered many sessions like this in the last 4 years. Today, we are going into the deeper natures of the religion we call Sanatana Dharma. Again, I make a declaration here, as I do in every session I speak. That is this. I am not a Sanskrit scholar, I am not a Vedic scholar, now I don't know Sanskrit. I am a seeker, you know. I am a seeker like anyone else. Until 32 years old, I was agnostic, atheist. I didn't believe in God. I thought my religion was a crackpot religion, you know. But today, after having studied my religion, I realized, my God, the religion of science. So I know one drop of this ocean. Hinduism is a huge ocean. I know one drop of this. What I'm prepared to do now is to share this drop with those who want to listen. My focus is on, and actually, frankly I tell you, we need not drink the whole ocean to know the taste of the ocean, okay? A few drops is enough. We know the taste of divinity. And that's what we're trying to do. So we're going to start this session now with invoking some mantras. Now, if you go to the temple there, we can see now all these the divine forms. Many of you may know a lot of mantras, okay? But for those who don't, you know, and those who want to learn the meanings of mantras, many times, you know, we chant mantras which we don't know meaning of. It is good to know, not only, at least some of the mantras, we won't even know which deity is addressed to, you know, because the deity's name is not mentioned in the mantra. But it's good to know the meaning. What is the mantra? Mantra is you talking to God, okay? Mantra is actually we talking to God. And it's good to know what we are telling him. In case he gives you what he asked for, you know, then you may be a bit sorry. Right? Oh my God, I didn't realize I was asking that. So we must be careful about that. So dear friends, let us start now. If I can remove that, cover there in front. We're going to start now by invoking Ganesha. Okay? So if all of you sit up straight and let's make this focus. And what I've done here is, I've given the meaning of every, I'm going to invoke virtually every God form you see in your hall at the back will be invoked today. And at least then after that, I'll give you a printout of this also. I'll give the organizer a printout so you all can have the meaning of this now. And if you all want those who are interested to know the meaning. It's not necessary for you to know the word.